I unironically love this look. In the 1980s, the nation of Ethiopia was experiencing what BBC journalist Michael Bwerk described as a biblical famine in the 20th century, the closest thing to hell on earth. Bob Geldof, frontman for the Boomtown Rats and the star of Pink Floyd's The Wall, was deeply affected by what he was seeing. In what can only be described as an earnest attempt to help raise money, he was responsible for spearheading the condescending and sappy Do They Know It's Christmas? The 1984 single was poorly received, but people could kind of grimace and punch Bob on the shoulder for giving it the old college try. His second attempt at raising money with music went over a lot better.
BBC One, BBC Two and Radio 1 in stereo will cover 16 hours of transmission from both sides of the Atlantic for a unique gathering of the cream of the world's top rock stars.
Live Aid was going to be real. Geldof wanted it to be the definitive statement for the music business, in the words of Harvey Goldsmith, who was a promoter at the time. The event ended up raising $127 million for famine relief, and while the dispersion of those funds was debated at the time, the good it did for making humanitarian work a priority on a global scale has been applauded. The absolute juggernaut of a concert featured everybody. Elton John, Duran Duran, Madonna, a grand total of 75 acts performing across 2 stadiums. Queen's performance is probably most memorable and probably what you thought of when I said Live Aid. But there's another performance, and really not even a full performance, that was shown during the concert that I really want to talk about. David Bowie and Mick Jagger were and are 2 of the biggest names in music. By the mid-80s, Bowie was at the top of his game, coming off the success of his more commercial pop-friendly album Let's Dance, while Mick Jagger was at a crossroads. Was he going to continue with the Rolling Stones or was he going to go solo? To Geldof, these guys were the perfect duo to sing together. The song would be Dancing in the Street, a song written by Marvin Gaye, William Mickey Stevenson, and Ivy Jo Hunter. Originally performed by Martha and the Vandellas, it had become something of a civil rights anthem during the 1960s, but now would be used to raise money for Ethiopia. They were originally supposed to perform the song live, halfway across the world from each other, Bowie at Wembley and Jagger at JFK Stadium. But with technology being the way it was in 1985, the link-up delay would have meant they'd have to mime their individual parts, and neither wanted to do that. Instead, they would record the song together, crank out a quick music video, and play that song on the big screens during the concert. They brought in David Mallet to direct their music video. You may have seen his work for music videos like White Wedding, Thunderstruck, and I Want to Break Free. It would be played in conjunction with Bowie's live performance, which Bowie actually ended early so he could present the music video for the Car single Drive. That single's video incorporated images of the Ethiopian famine. Pretty serious stuff. You can probably guess the tone of Bowie and Jagger's music video based on my mentioning that. If you haven't seen it, you aren't prepared.
Okay! Tokyo! South America! Australia! France! Germany! UK! Africa!
Is it a disgrace? Is it camp genius? Is it the greatest thing ever? Maybe it's all of the above, but there is so much to love about this music video. For starters, despite the fact that they had an actual bona fide, acclaimed music video director helping them, the whole thing looks like a couple of teenagers put it together with their high school's AV equipment. In addition to that, the short timetable for getting this music video put together pretty much guarantees that Bowie and Jagger are most definitely wearing clothes from their own personal closets. Mick in his jeans, his button-down, and his busted-ass sneakers, and Bowie in a jumpsuit and trench coat. Icons, really. The whole thing is improvised, and it shows. Their dance moves are unrefined and just plain dorky. They look like a couple dads. It's amazing. And Mick Jagger is one dramatic gesture or lip purse away from becoming a parody of himself. And even David Bowie's getting goofy for the camera, which I have no idea if that was like a first for people, but it's just so much fun. There's so much joy between them as they skip and dance around through this abandoned factory. But also, can we talk about the sexual tension in this music video? Like, I have seen entire movies where the romantic leads had less chemistry than Mick and David do in this music video. Look at the way they grab each other's shirt fronts and touch foreheads. If I had a nickel for every time Mick Jagger and David Bowie kissed, I would almost have 2 nickels. But what kills me most is despite the very, very unrehearsed feel of it all, Mick Jagger inexplicably picks up a can of Diet Coke during David Bowie's verse. Like, where did it come from? He just picks it up, takes a sip, and puts it back down. It wasn't there in the previous shot, I'm pretty sure. Did he just summon it? Was John Mulaney's bit about Mick Jagger summoning Diet Coke not a joke at all?
Jagger would go like this. He'd go, Diet Coke, and one would appear in his hand.
Because it looks like he's been able to do it for at least 35 years. This music video, like Mick Jagger, is magical. There is something so beautiful when the biggest names in music come together and act like absolute dorks for a good cause. Despite the fact that they look like they're goofing off, it sounded like they really cared about not only the message the song was going to help support, but the song itself. John Regan, who played bass on the song, said, "I could see Mick dancing around the studio, just getting into the music as if he were on stage." It hit home how much Jagger was moved by the power of the song and how sincere his love for music must be. And that love for music and the song shines through, much like the love for the homies. This is one of the most romantic things I've ever seen, and it is one of my favorite music videos. So how about you? Have you seen this music video? Are you going to watch it after watching this? Let me know. What are some of your favorite music videos? What's your favorite Live Aid performance? Thank you for listening to me ramble about this music video. This has been The Laundromat. Keep on spinning. Have a wonderful evening.